What's going on, everyone? Disc and Young here. So today I wanted to talk about how many units do you need in order to retire and to retire comfortably. There's a lot of misconception out there, so how many units do you need to buy in order to retire? This will work for anybody at any stage of life. So let's get into it. Okay guys, here is a pretty simple sheet I put together on how many units you will need in order to retire. Now it's important to know that when I put this together, this is all based on living comfortably, not, souping down and barely making it by with your rental units, but also not living crazy lavishly. You can put in crazy lavish numbers in here if you want and it'll still make sense and work. But the idea behind this is, hey, how can I retire very comfortably, living a very good life, very well balanced life? And we'll go through that. This can also work for anybody that's also, just thinking about getting into retirement, wants to retire early, already at retirement age. It'll work for all ranges of people. So when first thinking about this, the main thing you need to know is what is your monthly expenses. I would really encourage you guys to sit down, look at your past bank statements or whatever you need to, look at your past receipts, and really be able to come up with a monthly expense budget. This is in order to kind of remind you guys what all goes into monthly expenses. It's not just super simple, what's my mortgage and a few things like that. There's a lot that goes into monthly expenses that you don't even think about. So I put in here, it's 3 different categories. It's needs, wants, and savings. And we're going to go through all these really quick, and we're going to do this and figure out how many units we do need. If you guys do want this, you guys can email me and I will send it to you. It's a super simple, nothing fancy spreadsheet that I just put together. So let's talk about mortgage. Let's talk about maybe you have a $400,000 house, $500,000 house. Let's say your mortgage or your rent, you can put in rent if you don't own yet. That's just as fine as well. If your mortgage is $1,500, let's just say, and let's say in that $1,500, your property taxes and your insurance is already included in there. So for this, personally, we won't put anything into these two cells here, but we will have $1,500 for our mortgage. Again, this can be adjusted for wherever you live. I know these numbers can all wildly change based on where you live, but this is kind of a general get to see what you're at. Auto insurance. This is all monthly again, guys. So if you only know your auto insurance for a yearly basis, just divide it by 12 and put in the monthly in here. So let's just say auto insurance is 84. Health insurance, let's say you're at a job that you're self-employed and you don't have health insurance, put in your health insurance here. Let's say 300 for that. Out-of-pocket medical, put in something there if you know it. If you don't have any out-of-pocket medical or don't plan on any, just put 0 for this. I was kind of going through this based on like, hey, what if I was about 30 and thinking about retiring? How many units will I need in order to have that? Life insurance, let's say you do have some life insurance. It's pretty cheap, 20 bucks a month or something like that. Power bill, let's say you spend about $25 on that and gas alone. So $25 for each. Water bill, let's say, is about $75 a month. Your garbage is about $30 a month. Groceries and toiletries, just your essentials that you need every single month. Let's say you spend about $250 on that. Car payment, let's say you still have a car payment, $300 for that. Gas and auto, let's say you spend about $150 on gas a month. Let's say you spend about $130 on your phone bill a month. Let's say you do have some student loans and the minimum payment for that is $100 a month. Credit card payment, let's say the minimum on your credit card payment is $80. Wi-Fi is $40, and if you have child care or something like that, put that in here. So, and this will all change once you change these numbers, but let's just keep it the same right now. So that comes out to 3109. I'm going to go into what this means in a second. Let's keep going down. Now, wants. This is not necessities, but things you want to be able to have, especially in retirement, to be able to enjoy your life. So let's say you spend about 50 bucks a month on clothing or jewelry. If that's way low or way high, you guys can adjust that. Let's say you go out, maybe once a week to eat, and that's about $50, let's say, each time. Let's say that's $200 a month. Alcohol, let's say you maybe go out for drinks once a week or something like that, spend $25 each time you do it. That's $100. If you go out more or less than that, you can adjust that. Movies or things like that, let's say you spend about $50 a month on fun things like that. Have a gym membership, $30 a month. 416 for travel. I base this on about a $5,000 travel a year. So let's say you want to take a big trip for $5,000, and monthly that would be about 416. Cable and TV, $50 a month. Home decor, let's say you buy some new stuff for the house, 75. That comes out to $971 a month. Here's the emergency savings and things like that. So let's say you have an emergency fund at $200 a month. You just put that aside into a different account for emergency funds only. Savings account, let's say you put about $400 a month per that in account. And then savings for properties, I just put that in there more for young people. If you want to every month be putting aside money in order to make a down payment on a house, I highly, highly encourage that. That comes out to $1,000 a month. Now, comes to one of the big parts. You guys need to know how much cash flow per unit you are going to have, and have maybe a minimum for yourself where, hey, if it doesn't get over $100 or $200 a month per unit in cash flow, it's not something I'm interested in right now. My target on these is $200. Some places you can get a lot more, some places you can get a lot less. You guys need to analyze your market and be able to find out what is the average cash flow you can reasonably attain per unit. $200 is very, very reasonable. I hit that on all my rentals personally. So if I put that in there, boom, that spits out my monthly expenses are $5,000, a little over $5,000 with what I put in here, $5,080. At $200 per unit, I need 25 units in order to retire and have my units pay for my entire life. Now, if you guys are thinking, oh, I want to live a more lavish life, I want a $5,000 a month payment. Whoops. $5,000 a month payment. I want to really go big. I really want to be traveling a lot. I want to be, taking some big trips, things like that. Now you're looking at $9,000 a month. You're going to see you need 46 units at 200. Maybe you're thinking, hey, I only buy single family houses. I get a lot more cash flow per single family or things like that. So let's say you get $500 on average per unit. That cuts that to 18. So this obviously changes the formula quite a bit into what you need. So you can plug in here what you need. But I was trying to go off pretty conservative numbers of 200 with this at 1500 and this at 416. Again, gives you 25 units needed to live a very comfortable average lifestyle. Now, what's the 50-30-20 rule? The 50-30-20 rule is kind of an industry thing of how much of your income you should be spending on needs, wants, and savings. So they say you should be spending about 50% of your income on your needs, 30% on your wants, because you want to be a healthy lifestyle and be able to enjoy life. You don't want to just not do anything in your life. So 30% and 20% should go towards savings. So based on this, that is how much each of these boxes is how much is allocated towards this. And then this is how much you're currently at with what you put in here. So in this current example, I do have $2,540 to spend on needs, and my current would be $3,100 on all of this combined. So that maybe means I need to cut back on some things. Maybe I need to get a less expensive car. Maybe I need to get that down to $250, and boom, I'm getting closer. Things like that. And then we go down to this. I have $1,500 allocated for wants. I'm only at 971, so I can spend a little bit more here if I would like. and then we're pretty dang close to what we should be at for savings in this example here. So this is kind of just what you are spending or what you're allowed to allocate towards this. Here's your percentage of what you're currently doing. So if you want to go on the 50-30-20 rule, you can see, oh, I'm at 61 here, 19 here, and 20 here. So I need to get my necessities and my needs down. Maybe be more conscious of your power. Maybe find better insurances that are less money, something like that. So that's just a general rule of thumb. I hope this helped you guys just kind of show you in general how much you will need, how many units you need. It's a slow game. I think that's the one thing you need to push. It can be done in shorter amounts of time, but in the long run, this is a long-term game. Real estate is not a quick get rich quick scheme. It is a long-term build wealth over time game.
As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. The support means everything. If you wouldn't mind subscribing and liking the channel, that would be amazing. Liking this video would be amazing. Also, going over to my Instagram page and liking that if you want some different stuff as well, that would be amazing. Until next time, guys, thank you.